Welcome back to BET Tonight. I'm Steve Berlack. Are women right when they say men are similar to stray dogs? Or are men right when they urge guys not to begin a relationship with a woman who may not engage in sex right away? Just a couple of the questions put forth by a hilarious new film called Two Can Play That Game. The movie stars Vivica A. Fox and Morris Chestnut opens in theaters around the country this Friday, September 7th. And joining us tonight from New York are Vivica A. Fox and Morris Chestnut. Glad to have you both.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Here in D.C. is the director and writer of the film, Mark Brown. Thank you all again for joining us, Mark. Thank you. I want to go right to you, Mark. Can you talk to us a little bit about the premise of the film?
Well, it's about a woman by the name of Shantae Smith who, during spring, early summer, she finds that her boyfriend is messing up, and she puts him on a 10-day program to make him behave.
Vivica, Morris, now you two have come a long way since Out All Night. And yes, it's been a long way for you both, and here you are again almost 10 years later. Can you talk to us a little bit about your characters and who they are?
Well, you know what, I have to say, just look at Vivica right now. I mean, she looks better than she did. You know, she's getting better with age.
Oh, yeah.
The feeling's mutual. The feeling's mutual.
I'm just glad to be working with her.
All right. All right. Yeah, my wife is going crazy right now just because you on, bro. Because I remember you back with the clean-shaven look and all that.
Right.
Now, talk to us a little bit about who your characters are.
I play Shantae Smith, who is a professional woman who thinks that she's got her life and love figured out, and she gives advice to all of her girls because she feels that they have problems with their men, and her man, played by Morris Chestnut here, his behavior kind of messes up the program, and it sends you on a hilarious adventure.
Okay.
Yes. Hilarious adventure.
Morris, what's happening with Keith?
Well, Keith is a cat who, you know, he's very much in love with Shantae. And he just gets caught in an unusual predicament.
Right.
There was nothing going on, nothing happened, but it just looked kind of bad. And, you know, and he's kind of like, you know, caught in the eye of the storm, which is Shantae, who's a lot to deal with. Not only she
I kind of combined those two characters to form Shantae. You know, they were professional, but at the same time they had the ability to you know, sling the slang when necessary. And Vivica is such an exceptional actress. She was able to pull that off.
Right. Well, you know, you mentioned that you wanted Vivica for this role. Shantae's character has been described as professional, but street and smart.
Right.
How does Vivica portray this for you?
Well, I mean, she's an executive, and she's a professional woman, and she, at the same time, she has her friends are you know, from the hood. Some of her friends from the hood. I mean, and if you look at your friends, my friends in particular, I have people who are lawyers and people who are gas station attendants. Right. You know, and I think that the African American community is such that, you know, we are far more diverse than perhaps what we get credit for.
That's right. Well, you know, Morris, actually, I want to go to you or Vivica on this one. The boys used to talk about way back in the turn of the 20th century about an inherent tension that black people face in this country between being black and being Americans. And it seems like your characters face this tension every day in their professionalism and their street smarts, as Mark was alluding to. Did you find this tension in your character when you first read the script, and did you try to portray that, or did you see that at all?
Well, for myself, I actually wanted to make sure that we show the two faces that most African Americans wear on a daily basis. When you go into the professional business, you carry yourself as a professional manner. But that does not mean that you cannot relate to your homies, still kick it with them from the street. There are two different faces that we all wear. And not only just us, I would say that that's a universal code, that there's just faces that you wear professionally and some that you wear when you're home kicking it with your family and with your friends. But what was important for both of us was that the images this time that you saw of African Americans, that the images were positive and that you saw us as professionals.
From Superfly, and they never quite experienced what your characters are experiencing now. Do you find a sense of thankfulness for those sort of roles that these actors played back then that gives you the opportunity to play these characters now?
Well, I think that if it wasn't for them, there would be no us. But what we shall make sure that we do in the future is to go forward. I think if we stay doing the same genre of blaxploitation films that are just one level, then where have we went from there? There needs to be progress. And I have made sure that I wear that hat very proudly, that I take us into the future and I take us there proudly.
Right. Mark, where do you, as a writer and director of this film, where do you see this film in that sort of historical context?
Well, I think that the African-American audiences are beyond the how to be a players and the booty calls. And I contest that we have much more of a sophisticated movie-going audience. And with that, you have to, the characters that you create have to reflect that sophistication. And also have the ability to show depth and range.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, more of our discussion with Vivica, Morris, and Mark. You're watching BT Tonight on Black Entertainment Television. Stay with us. Welcome back. The new film, Two Can Play That Game, takes a comic but intense look at love between the sexes. The film stars Vivica A. Fox and Morris Chestnut. Both stars join us tonight, along with the writer-director of the movie, Mark Brown. Now, Mark, I want to go into a decision you made to narrate this film from a woman's perspective. I'm curious as to why you made the decision to do that.
Well, I mean, I've always contested that I longed for the days for when African-American women open movies. I mean, I know that Hollywood contests that just doesn't happen. And when Pam Grier was kicking butt plus looking sexy and being smart, I wanted to bring some of that back today. So from an African-American woman's perspective, I thought that it would be good to try to bring that back.
Okay. Now, Vivica, Shantae says the first time your man mess up, no matter how minor the infraction, punish him and punish him hard. What does Vivica say?
She agrees 100%.
No,
I don't know if I've actually done that in life, but Shantae's got some great rules that I think that when a lot of the sisters and the brothers come and see this film, they will learn a lot from.
Well, you know, it's interesting because the point of humor usually is that there's some element of truth to it. It seems to me that you find that there's some element of truth to Shantae's character and how she thinks?
Oh, yeah. Shantae thinks definitely with a lot of truth, but I think what's great about the end of the movie that she really finds out that she really cares for Key. And when there really comes to love, and if you're going to go into that next chapter, then the rules and the games need to cease a little bit. So, you know, it's a wonderful film that leaves a wonderful message. It really does.
Right. Now, Morris, I'm seeing all kinds of game playing going on between you and Vivica there. Now, is that the way that relationships work in the African-American community? What do you think about that?
You talking about in the film?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I think that's the way it works in every community, not just the African-American community.
Right,
definitely.
Right.
When people are dating, I mean, it's fun to play games in the beginning. You know, that's the whole part of, exploring and figuring each other out.
Right.
So I think it exists in every community.
Well, did you find back when you were dating that that's what you enjoyed? Did you prefer a woman to play games that way, or did you prefer a woman to be straightforward with you? I'm going there with you, Morris.
Oh, yeah, you can go there with me.
I'm going to get you in trouble, bro.
I'll go there with you, too. I enjoyed the game, I mean, I wanted to seem like it was a challenge. I didn't want to just meet someone and just hop right into a relationship. There was no fun. There's no exploration.
Right.
I wanted to play the games.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, actually, I understand all of us here actually are married. Does the game change when you become married? Mark, that question for you.
I'm actually not married.
Okay. All right. Okay, straighten that out. Straighten that out. All right, you got that. Okay. What are your thoughts on that? From your friends that are married? Or
I don't think that the game necessarily changes because my parents have been married for 50 years, and I still see some residual game playing, jostling for position. It's probably not as prevalent in your later years, but certainly when you're younger, it's the game playing you know, there's a jostling for who's going to wear the pants, so to speak.
Right, right. Now, what about that? Because it seems like that seems to be the central point of the dating game. Is who's going to jockey for that position of power.
Right.
Vivica, do the sisters get that usually, that position of power, or do the brothers get that?
Oh, that's a tough one for me to answer, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, it just all depends on how much you like a person. I think sometimes when you really like a person, love will make you do some crazy, deranged things.
Right. Yes, it will.
Am I talking right?
Oh, she's definitely talking right.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I also think,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Morris. I'm sorry.
I just also think, I mean, I don't think women truly understand that they can always wear the pads. You know, they just have to know how to manipulate the situation. You know what I'm saying? They're always in control.
That's right. That's right.
And even when the guy thinks they're in control, they're actually not in control. My dad is not in control, and he thinks he's wearing the pants.
Yeah, see, that's an issue a lot of brothers have, too, because it seems like they always feel like they're and a matter of fact, there was, Vivica, you spoke about that in Soul Food, in that it was a great scene where you were talking to one of the sisters in the movie where you were saying you've got to let a man feel like he's a man. And there was a certain, you know, you could call it a game if you look at it cynically, but if you look at it the right way, it seems like women for ages on end have understood this game of relationships much better than men have, how to play the role of supporting your man even when they feel that they're in control already.
Well, I believe in supporting them when they deserve it. That's for sure. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
To be nobody's doormat.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
but you're right. You just have to learn how to stroke a brother, make him feel like a man, you know, but that's only if he deserves it.
Right.
According to Vivica.
Okay, go ahead now.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes,
Okay.
I do. All right, now, Morris, you know, you hear brothers talk all the time. Matter of fact, I had a lot of brothers that were married, right, that talked to me before I got married. They said, look, here's what you got to do. They said, look, there comes a point in every argument where you just got to step back and say, yes, dear, no, dear, and just let it go. Has that been true? Is that what do you think about it?
Well, in my case, that's been true to form. You know, I've had a number of arguments. I don't believe I've won any of them. Even when I think I've won, I've really lost. You know?
Okay, so tell me then, are these games that brothers and sisters play, or actually anyone, it's not just the African-American community.
Definitely a universal thing.
Exactly.
Is this something that continues now, or do you think that men and women are learning to get beyond this? Or are we actually learning each other better?
It goes back from old-fashioned days when your mama said a lady did this and a lady does that.
Yeah, right.
And if he's a man, he's supposed to do this. And I think that that's what's great about the film, that it still brings light to the fact that still the old-fashioned game of dating, battle of the sexes, is still existent today. It really is.
Right.
And actually, it will always continue to exist. There is no end to it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, tell me something, Morris. What's the craziest thing you ever did when you got caught out there? I'm trying to get somebody in trouble tonight.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. The craziest thing that I've ever done, well, to me, what I'll consider the craziest thing
Morris
I've done.
doesn't get caught.
That's because Morris never does anything wrong.
Good answer.
He never gets, he never gets out of it. No, I've been, for my wife. I think I left like 11 to 18 messages on Shantae's machine. For my wife, I think I may have left like 100.
Really?
I was pretty out there. I was pretty out there. But
how did she respond to that?
What's that?
How did your wife respond to that?
Well, she married me, so.
My man.
He caught it, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we'll have more from our guests when we come back. Don't go away.
Hey. What's that?
Morning mix?
Chex pieces, cranberries, raisins. You know, I had an idea to invent something like this.
Really? Was it as good as your idea for the remote control toaster?
Much better.
Well, this has fruits and nuts.
I had fruits and nuts, too. I had a different name, though. Dave's Good Stuff.
Introducing Morning Mix, a grab-and-go bag of crispy Chex cereal with sweet raisins, tangy cranberries, and almonds, all mixed together.
How long did it take you to think that one up?
New Morning Mix from Chex, breakfast to go.
Hey.
What's that?
Morning Mix?
Chex pieces, cranberries, raisins. You know, I had an idea to invent something like this.
Really? Was it as good as your idea for the remote control toaster?
Much better.
Well, this has fruits and nuts.
I had fruits and nuts, too. I had a different name, though. Dave's Good Stuff.
Introducing Morning Mix, a grab-and-go bag of crispy Chex cereal with sweet raisins, tangy cranberries, and almonds, all mixed together.
How long did it take you to think that one up?
New Morning Mix from Chex, breakfast to go.
A remix is a twist of heritage that spins into the next great Jeep idea.
It's when the new reflects the old.
A remix is the power of yesterday
Poured into the capabilities of tomorrow.
blending with your own
Individual style.
Jeep Liberty.
It's the freedom of an exciting new world.
Jeep. There's only one.
We're continuing our discussion on love between the sexes. Where do men and women often go wrong when it comes to relationships? Mark, I want to go to you now. It seems like over the last few years, Hollywood has produced several black romantic comedies now. What has led to Hollywood's fascination with this genre of movies, you think, recently?
Well, I mean, I think that they look at it from a business perspective. I mean, it seems that comedies seem to work, and there's a proven box office associated with it. So you'll continue to have a certain type of movie. But I think it's incumbent upon filmmakers to stretch the to branch out a little further and to have, you know, more interesting genres and stuff that encompasses our life a little more than just a hood movie.
Right, right. Mars, Vivica, do you have a sense of why now, though? It seems like why over the last few years we've seen these movies? Why this particular time?
Well, the thing about that is, I mean, there's very few people in Hollywood who are trendsetters. Most of Hollywood are trend followers.
Yeah.
You know, once one particular formula works and makes some money, then everyone wants to hop on and try to recreate that same magic in the bottle.
Right.
So I think that's what you're seeing right now.
Okay.
And I'm actually grateful that I can remember 5 to 10 years ago when I first started acting, we all used to have to compete for that one token role. And now I have went on to make movie magic with all of the ladies who used to be my competitors, and I'm grateful for that, and I hope we can continue to go forward.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because actually I've seen that quite a few of the actors, there seems to be this circle of actors now who are acting together in different films, and it seems to lead to a great camaraderie between all of you.
Yeah, we have a very strong community in the African-American actors. All of us support one another. We go to each other's baby showers, weddings, parties. Will and Jada throw the best party.
They got the most money.
I remember that. All right.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that both characters that you portray in this movie have strong relationships with their friends. And in fact, their friends have an influence on the relationship between Keith and Shantae. Now,
yes. Sometimes good and sometimes bad.
All right. Now, what's the deal with that? Is that a good thing for friends to be involved?
I think that's true to life.
Yeah, that's a reflection of life.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, I'm sure you can.
Exactly.
I'm sure you can look in your personal life and in your own personal life, and you have friends who steer you in the right direction, and you have friends who steer you in the wrong direction.
I don't know, but Vivica, I know a lot of sisters out there though who talk about, you know, don't let those friends in your life, girl, because they jealous. Or I always hear that, and it seems like there's a tension there.
No, I think your girlfriends can give you some good advice sometimes, and it just takes for you to weigh out the difference of the good and the bad.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes some stuff you be like, oh, girlfriend, now you know you tripping. You know that ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't ever think you should listen to every single thing one individual says anyway. You know, when you hear something from a person, you know, take some of the stuff that you can use and put aside the stuff that you can't.
Okay. Mark, what sort of role does a movie like this play in influencing relationships between African-American men and women out there?
Well, I would hope that it would go back to the central theme that you can't control. You can't control your partner and their relationships. I don't think that art is going to follow. I mean, life is going to follow art. I think art actually follows life.
Okay.
And I actually thought it was a welcome to see black love on the screen where we were loving one another, even though we were taking each other through changes, which are universal in all nationalities, that it was just good to see us on the film having a good time with our friends, with our loved ones, and in the end that we still came together, not to give away too much of the film, but you know, I get so sick of hearing bees and hoes, and you know what I'm saying?
But do you get a sense as you go through a movie like this, do you get a sense that people will actually sit, watch this, and actually get the lesson and let that influence what they do from now on?
Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? I took my brother to a screening. I took my brother to a screening. We had an early screening, and he came out. He was like, "That's what y'all be up to." Oh, I get it. And I had some girls come up to me after the screening and say, "Vivica, dang, you gave away the secret, girl." You know, it's a lot to learn. It really is, because sometimes, you know, you think you got the opposite sex figured out, right? And you really don't.
You really don't.
Okay. I have to apologize to the brothers. I'm getting a lot of flack from the brothers.
Really?
Oh, yes, I am. Well, they're saying, yo, you know, you're letting out the secrets, or you know. But
well, the thing about it though, I think this particular, I mean, we give out the 10 rules that women have. Oh. You know, I mean, if you count our side, I mean, I think we only gave out like 4.
Talk about it more.
So all the brothers, when you come see the movie, we're coming out ahead. All right?
That's all right. That's all right. Now, I want to get to y'all about this. Now, I know that it's got to be, you talked about, I read from you one time, Morris, that way back in Out All Night that you had the opportunity to act with Vivica, but you never got a chance for your characters to actually develop any sort of romantic relationship.
Oh, good.
Talk about now, all of a sudden, 10 years later, you get a chance to explore that with your characters. What was that like, going through the kissing scenes and those sorts of things, and then having to turn around and deal with the loved ones back home?
Well, you know what? It's always, I gotta say, I mean, even when I was about to work with Vivica on Out All Night, she was on this soap opera called Generations, back in the day. And I remember I was watching that soap opera because it was like the, you know, black soap opera. And I said, oh, this girl was fine, you know what I'm saying? Then it came Out All Night. Oh, she's fine. Nothing ever happened. And now I'm reading the script. Okay, Vivica's doing this. Okay, kissing scene, love scene. I'll do it.
That's
How much I have to pay you? That's all it took.
That's right. Now, I'd like to ask you a little more serious note. Now, we've talked about the fact that you both have come a long way. Yeah. How would Morris Chestnut of Out All Night have portrayed Keith as opposed to Morris Chestnut today?
Well, not very well. I mean, I mean, it's been like 10 years. I mean, I've developed, you know, my talent a little bit more, and I just have a different approach, you know, to the whole art of acting and filmmaking. So I wouldn't have done a very good job back then.
You guys, he's matured into a wonderful leading man. 2 thumbs up for Morris.
All right, yes, sir.
And 3 and 5 and 6 for Vivica.
We'll be back to wrap things up in just a moment. Stay with us.
This program is brought to you by the National Education Association, the nation's leading advocate for children and public education.
The equations weren't sinking in.
Kevin was getting frustrated.
It was so confusing.
Miss Blair noticed right away Kevin needed extra help.
As teachers, that's our job.
She knew how to work with him.
We worked together until we understood.
I feel smarter. Hey, I am.
America's teachers, making public schools great for every child.
Kevin always had the potential.
But it's teachers like Miss Blair who bring it out.
Thanks, Miss Blair.
What's up, y'all? I'm Free from BET's 106 in Park. And to all my brothers out there, this one's for you. Now, I know a lot of you are having sex, and many of you are using protection. But from the heart, I want you to stay safe. There are so many sexually transmitted diseases out there, and we are losing way, way too many lives. So wrap it up. To get the facts about safer sex, call 1-866-WRAP-IT-UP.
Got a lot of celebrities in the house. Let's check them out.
He's the man who keeps it all real.
NYLA, y'all.
Laz takes me all the way to L.A. Uptown, downtown. Laz takes me into the heart of what's happening.
You name it, we got it.
And into the soul of how it all feels. On NYLA. Monday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Only on BET.
It's off the hook, y'all.
Black Star Power.
Peace.
BET will have you trying this new fall season because this is the way we do it with your host, Ricky Smiley. Do you think you have something worth putting on TV? The way we do it is looking for your funniest home videos. Send your VHS tapes to BET Home Videos, P.O. Box 7700, Burbank, California 91510. And make sure to include your name, address, and phone number. And you just might make the cut for the way we do it. New this fall.
We have just over a minute left. I'm going to give the final say to you, Mark. Now, you know, of course, we've talked so far earlier this evening about the roles that we have and how we've expanded, but it seems like the true power of showing African Americans on the screen is in the writing and the directing and the ownership. What led you to strike out on this and to provide these sort of films for us?
Well, initially I was acting, and I decided to move into writing and directing as a form of control, because sometimes, you know, you deliver your work as a writer and it gets jaded. But I think with that comes the responsibility of a filmmaker to put out responsible material, to have material that one, my mom can see, and that you know, it just doesn't make a whole, you know, culture ashamed of, you know, what you're portraying on screen. And we really tried to do that in this movie. In language, there is no nudity, you know, there's limited cursing, and it has a really good message, and it's very fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun.
Right. Do you find that you have a better sense of power over what's happening now that you're on the other side?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just see it from a whole different perspective, you know what I mean?
All right. Thank you. That's it for this edition of BET Tonight. Tomorrow, a closer look at interracial relationships. And again, that's tomorrow night. I'm Steve Berlack. Thanks for watching. Vivica, Mark, Morris, I want to thank all